How are all of you lovely people doing today? My name is John. Today we are bringing back the zombie storyline Q&A. This is a series where I take your questions about the zombie storyline and I take them on. Whether it's a big, a small, or a simple question, you can leave them down below. It could be about Treyarch's Call of Duty, it could be about Infinite Warfare zombies, or it could be about Exo Zombies for all I care. It does not matter. Just leave them down below or tweet me at JohnnyJ25 with your questions. And maybe while you're there, drop a follow. It's always appreciated. Without further ado though, let's begin. Today's episode will begin with a question from Karak Jabbar, who asks, when we upgrade the staffs in Origins, do they turn into the original staffs? So this is something I've wanted to talk about for a little while now, because I think there's a little bit of a misconception floating around within the community. Mr. Dalek JD made a few months back, just before Revelations came out, explaining why he believes that the staves that we use in Origins are not the original staves, and that we were going to see these staves in Revelations. Well, Revelations has come and gone, and we have not actually received the staves in game. Sure, we see them at the end of the Easter egg, but we never actually get to wield them in battle, or let alone the original versions of the staves. And I kind of kept my mouth shut about this for a little while, because when I saw Dalek's video, I thought, it's an interesting theory, but I'm not sure he's entirely correct with the idea of whether or not we've ever used the original staves. He's not wrong that the staves that we first build in Origins are the replica staves. Dr. Maxis explains this to us in one of the radios found in Origins.
The ancient texts describe an artifact known to them as the amplification rod. It is my firm belief this item is instrumental to harnessing the energy of the elemental stones. Unfortunately, neither the rod nor the stones have been recovered from any of our dig sites. I fear we must push forward regardless. As such, I have drawn up plans to create replica rods based on the descriptions from the main chamber. I will instruct Richtofen to begin fabrication immediately.
What I believe is that when we upgrade the staves on the map Origins, what we're actually receiving are the original staves, the ones that Primus used back in the day during the Great Battle. Now I know some people will look at quotes, say, from Richtofen and say, well, Richtofen was talking about the staves not being at their full power. What do you say about that? And I say he's talking about the pre-upgraded versions, the replicas that we initially play with, but then once we actually complete the Easter egg, we upgrade all of the staves and we start to use the ultimate staves. What we're actually using are the originals, and that's why they have all these additional powers, such as being able to use the butt of your staff to revive teammates. That's what I think is actually going on with these more powerful staves. And then somebody will also look at a Jason Blundell quote where he says that we might see the staves come back in Revelations, and to that I say, this doesn't actually act as evidence for us never having received the original staves. All that was Jason Blundell cheekily hinting at the fact that we see the Primus photo come up at the end of the Revelations Easter egg. That's all I think that is. Personally, I believe that we use the original staves when we upgrade them in Origins. Now, what I'm not saying is that Dalek's theory is complete nonsense. That's not the case. This is really more a matter of opinion. I can't definitively say they're the originals, but that's my personal belief, and part of this is fueled by the fact that we never see them come up again. It's almost as if it doesn't matter whether or not we had the originals or not. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. Either way, when we upgrade them, it seems as though they have achieved their full power and potential. Moving on, we now have a question from Jason Sutherland, who asks, Johnny, in Gorod Krovi, is Gersh referring to the children from Ascension or the children in the house? What Jason is referring to is this quote from Gersh on the map Revelations. It's quite complicated, but take a listen.
Wait, what is happening? What are you doing? You said you would help me. Where am I? What is happening? It's collapsing. The confluence is occurring. Yuri! The children! Wait, you look familiar. No, it can't be you. From the Cosmodrome. Your faces are familiar, but different. Stop that. Stop shooting. That hurts. What do you want?
This is difficult because there are a couple interpretations of this scene. When Gersh sort of appears into existence on Gorod Krovi, he shouts towards Yuri and he shouts towards the children, and he's confused where he is. Now, what happened at the Ascension facility was that there appears to have been some children who snuck into the facility, and some of their toys were left lying around. We learned this from some of Yuri's radios on the map Ascension.
Rockets. He transfers me to work on rockets. These experiments require no finesse, no imagination. My intellect is ill-served blasting a bunch of monkeys into the atmosphere. But I can't fight Gersh over this. I was able to hold on to my teeth. Some after-hours research. No one else really understands what Project Mercury is capable of. Until then, this lab will have to do. Wait, is it a Matryoshka doll? Is someone with a child? I found the box today. Some Rebecca left his teddy bear in it. A disgusting and filthy toy. Who keeps bringing their child onto this place?
What we actually learn later on is that this was the work of Samantha. Samantha actually left these toys around the map and started to infect the minds of some of the people within the Ascension facility, such as Yuri, and drove them crazy so that she could basically take over and also bring down the Ascension group and everything they're working on. And maybe Gersh was also getting suspicious about either the children or the child and the toys that are being left around, and he's kind of in this panicky state from right when Yuri had actually trapped him in the Gersh device. So he shouts towards Yuri, and he shouts towards the children who maybe are messing with his mind as well, and that could very well be what he's referring to when he says the children. Now and then he does recognize our characters. Remember that they had freed him from the Ether as Samantha was sort of coming after him. Samantha was trying to destroy him, but he was still in this ethereal state, and our characters rescued him from Samantha. So maybe this is his point in life after he is rescued from our characters, and he's still a little bit weary about the child or the children. Could be the case. Now, another interpretation is that we learn from Gersh that he's traveled around to many different universes. He's kind of appeared in and out. And while it wouldn't make sense for him to necessarily be involved in our characters' plans or to know much about the children, it's not too far-fetched to suggest that maybe he accidentally blipped into the children's universe, saw them, and maybe understood some kind of profound significance to them, and maybe that's why he's shouting about them when he appears in front of our characters. That could be the case, and that may be another explanation of what is going on. Either way, it's difficult to say who Gersh is referring to on Garad Krovi. It could be the children in the house, or it could be Samantha from Ascension. At the end of the day, though, I'm not sure it makes a huge difference to the storyline, because Gersh, unfortunately, gets destroyed during the Garad Krovi Easter egg. Today's episode will end with a question from Victor, who asks, is there a chance that the old crew is still out there? Love your vids. Thanks, Victor. Yes, there actually is still a chance that the old crew is out there. He's referring to the original Moon crew who got stranded at the end of the Easter egg with Samantha inside of Richtofen's body. There's actually 2 hints that these characters are still alive at the end of the buried Easter egg, one from Richtofen's ending and one from Maxis's ending.
I've won, Maxis! That's what I've done!
But what about Samantha? Your actions condemn my daughter's very soul to eternal damnation. Even if you do not care for her, surely you wish to return to your own body.
Not really, no.
Once the gateway is open, I will finally be reunited with my dearest Samantha.
Hello? Are you forgetting something? Even if your wretched daughter is still alive, she has my body!
If you are so eager to re-enter the physical world, Richtofen, I will grant you that fish!
They both allude to Samantha being within Richtofen's body, and Maxis even says, wouldn't you want your old body back? And Richtofen just goes, no, not really. And I think the little clue here is that, well, if Richtofen's body was dead, he wouldn't want his old corpse back. That's no use. And Samantha's soul is still with the body, which suggests that the body is alive. But Maxis is saying, hey, your body's still on the moon, you're alive and all that stuff. Don't you want that body back? And maybe you can take Samantha's body out? And Richtofen is having none of it. He actually does not care for his original body at all. And This is the hint that suggests that maybe these characters are still alive on the moon. Now, whether or not that's significant is difficult to say, considering we have all these different realities and we also go back in time into other universes and change them, so it might not actually make a difference. And there is the possibility that as we went back in time and changed other universes, we just prevented those characters from ever even reaching the moon, because we killed maybe one of the 1.0 versions from that original universe. That's also a suggestion that just through changing time and space, they never actually appeared in that area, which does make a bit of a paradox. I digress, though. That's going to wrap things up for this episode of the Zombie Storyline Q&A. If you enjoyed it, maybe get a like, possibly subscribe, and remember to leave questions down below or tweet me at JohnnyJ25. You may be in the next episode. I'm going to go. Have a great day, and bye.